Hello everyone and welcome to 2018. Happy New Year with this broader image, and now I have space for my elbows and everything because I've just got a new camera. Still last year. Anyway, this time we are going to talk again about papercrete, as I made a new batch of papercrete just out of proof. I don't know if you remember this chap. It's unfinished and it's utterly papercrete upon a cardboard structure. It's been ages since I started, and actually I'm not sure if I'll ever finish because it became too massive, and there's this problem with this head, and I don't know how to fix it. Anyway, today I woke up really inspired, finally, since some weeks, and I just made, as I said, a new batch of papercrete. The thing about papercrete, which is an awesome modeling paste, my old one, as I was using a toilet paper to make my clay. The thing is that one of my ideas of for 2018 is to recycle history through recycled materials, which I was using already here and there, but now the focus is that. So the motto would be like recycle history as you recycle your paper, or something like that. I know it sounds cheesy and cheeky, whatever. So I thought, why not trying finally a papercrete without toilet paper, but with paper. And since a while ago, I was collecting these, apparently for nothing, and I think it was in December somewhere, when I thought about, I don't need it, so you can just put it on the bin. But I didn't, because I was too lazy, and I'm glad I didn't, because now it was rather useful. So my papercrete batch is very similar to paper clay recipe, and I just I didn't boil. I threw some of these shredded papers on really hot water, and then with my fingers I separated the rest until I was bored, and with the mixer I just pulped all the paper and removed not all but some of the water, which afterwards I've added white glue until the paste became rather like pate, you know. And of course I tried with my hands because, well, because I didn't use any measures, so it was just so I kept trying if the paper was gooey enough, and when it was gooey enough, I added some flour, and then I stirred, and then flour, and then I stirred, and when the whole thing became rather clay-ish, I started to add Portland cement. Portland cement was one of my 2017 discoveries, and I must say I'm not very fond of it, because I used to use what for me is normal cement, the gray one. The gray one for me it's normal cement. Portland cement I've never heard of, except in some videos from the USA. But here, for me, cement is grey, and it has a very particular smell, which this Portland white cement doesn't have. The thing is, the Portland cement, this one feels like chips of plaster, and somehow it feels like it doesn't really blend within the mixture. Although, of course, the white pigment is good because it clears the greyishness of the clay, the paper, you know, the shredded paper paste, let's say. But anyway, it's the only one I have at the moment, and I just kept on mixing the Portland cement, and then I removed the whole paste from the bowl and started to on the table, and I kept adding cement until somehow the paste was or had the texture that I wanted, and the result, my friends, is this. So this is a batch of papercrete. It's a bit soft and sounds rather wet still, which I'm not sure if I'll be able to do what I want with it by being so wet. But if I'm not really fond of it, or if I'm not able to do what I want, I can always cheat and put some sheets of toilet paper until it becomes less watery and more malleable. I'm not sure. Projects that I have in mind to use this papercrete, which took me like less than 10 minutes to do. Again and again, you need used newspaper or whatever paper. I used cardboard, like newspaper, any paper that one can find from the garbage, you know. It's useful because after soaked, it's there are some pieces of paper which the machine does, the mixer doesn't really get, but depending upon what I want to do, I think it's okay, unless it's very detailed things, which at the moment not. But again, if I see them on the clay, I can always remove it and add or whatever. Again, I want to make pieces that reflect Portuguese history again, and the motto again is to recycle history as one would recycle, or one recycles paper. By the way, toilet paper is apparently recycled paper. Some months ago, I made this kind of structure bust with also papercrete actually, and lots of aluminum foil and some tape and cardboard, and the idea was to use it to make small busts in order to make casts out of silicone afterwards. I'm going to attempt that today, wish me luck, and I want to do a particular couple, and in the end the idea is something like a royal couple that resembles those you know, those what's it called, those porcelain Sèvres or Limoges 18th century kind of figures. So I'll use again a Portuguese 18th century royal couple to represent, or at least that's my idea. It doesn't mean that I'll do it or I'll finish it. That's a whole different story. There is also in a lovely ancient art museum in Lisbon a painting, a very old painting, like not as okay, it's not as good as the ones from Van Eyck or whatever, whoever, but still it's part of our national patrimony, and it represents Dom João I, a Portuguese 14th, 15th century king who is represented just from here to here with a big head, and he's praying, of course. And I wanted to make a haut relief out of it, and again to make a I forgot the name. A cast? Yes, in silicone, and then I would just need to make some batch of paper clay or papercrete, probably papercrete, and just fill it and try to sell it, amongst many other things. But again, that's the whole idea. I think it's all for now. Again, Happy New Year. I hope everyone has a splendid and creative 2018. Namaste.